How do you set boundaries with parents who don't understand what is boundary? Have you ever had this experience when you are on vacation, so you go back home to visit your parents? And you've been away for such a long time, you're an independent adult, you make your own money, you make your own life decision. But when you're back home, your parents immediately treat you like kids. When you are in your room doing your own thing, close the door, having a moment of privacy, suddenly the door opened without any signs, without knocking, and your mom or dad just walk in. You got a little bit annoying, feeling like, hey, this is my privacy. I'm an adult right now. How can you not knock the door and just come in? How would you react? Option number one, get out, mom. Option number two, hey, mom, would you mind knocking at my door next time before you stepping in? I have my own privacy. Option number three, impatiently looking at your mom and say, what? What do you want? These are all forms of boundary setting with the same goal of trying to ask the other person to respect your privacy and personal space. However, as you can imagine, using the three method will lead to very different outcomes on your mom's attitude, your relationship with your mom, and also your own mood for the rest of the day. Option number one, when you are telling someone to get out, you are using a command. It's usually a very harsh tone. Teenagers do that all the time without a lot of respect and consideration for the other person because teenagers are just so obsessed with their own world. So a lot of time they simply don't have a lot of space in their mind to consider the other person's feeling. As a result, they use get out to voice their anger, to set the boundary, to convey the message, you should not just come to my door without knocking at it. In the receiving end, how would you feel if someone just yelled at you saying get out when you enter a door? I guess we won't feel that great about it. This way of setting boundary, you're at an elevated emotional state. You're not regulated. So you cannot politely present the information in a way that other person's easy to accept and digest. Therefore, this kind of very blunt, almost aggressive boundary setting doesn't usually work. So then, a lot of people go to scenario number three. You don't want to disrespect your parents. You want to avoid conflict. We're almost in between of having to say yes, but we don't really want to say yes. I bet a lot of you have been in that situation where you reluctantly say yes because you just feel the pressure you have to say yes. But deep out inside, you don't actually want to do it. This leads to the scenario number three, where you responded saying, hey, mom, what's up? But at the same time, you can't help but presenting yourself, feeling annoyed, agitated, irritated by the sudden intrusion. In this scenario, people don't explicitly say the boundary. I see that a lot in culture where it's more reserved, things are not explicitly said. It's almost like you want to use a more gentle way to tell the other person this is not a good time, right? The problem with scenario number three of accepting but also reluctant is the lack of clarity in the message. A lot of times it's just really hard for parents to understand that you are an adult right now. It's hard for them to imagine the world you are in, the things that you're being dealing with. How do you behave professionally? How do you behave like an adult in difficult situation? They don't usually see that. So scenario number three is like bringing yourself to that child mode where as a child, you know you have to do what your parents told you to do. You don't have a lot of freedom. At the same time, you don't feel good about it. You still have feeling. When you get yourself into that position as a child, your parents automatically assume the role of authority. It confirms to them, okay, yes, I'm right about it. No matter how old he or she is, they're still a child. So you don't get the respect and you don't get the results of setting boundary either. The optimal way of setting boundary is scenario number two. Respectfully and kindly say to your parents, hey mom, I'm an adult right now and I have my own privacy. Would you mind knocking at the door before you come in? Because sometimes it really scared me. This is such simple way of communicating the boundary. It is clear you send a message of your request. I want you to knock at the door first. And it consider other person's feeling. And it is respectful. You are maintaining this tone of voice that's regulated, that's kind. So it's easier for the other person to receive the message. It also explains the why. Why do you need to knock at the door? Because I have my privacy, because I'm an adult. You're not just setting a boundary of respect my privacy, but you are also setting a boundary saying, we are no longer a parent-child relationship. We are an adult-adult relationship too. That's why it's so important to maintain the tone of voice that's calm, polite, that doesn't aggravate the situation, and then ask your request. For parents who don't understand boundary, it's usually because it's hard for them to get out this mindset of my kids are adult. It's like a person holding a kite, and the adult child is the kite. The adult child is trying to go away, is trying to cut the connection. But when the parents see the kite is inside, it tries to pull back the thread and try to get a kite closer to them as a form of protection and seeking intimacy. It is a very natural feeling for parents, especially mother in a lot of cases, to want to get close to the kids. But as an adult, for our own mental health and also for our parents' mental health, it's important for us to gently remind them that we both need space. We need to treat each other as grown-ups. It's so important to use calm voice and clear command, even your parents never used them before. Because now you're an adult, guess what? You have the opportunity to reverse the role. You are able to model healthy behavior. You are bringing another healthier element to the family so the parents see that the modern psychology is not a threat to the family, but is actually a way to bring the family together in a respectful way. For parents who don't understand boundary setting, they hold this aversion feeling towards boundary setting. They perceive boundary setting means the kids don't want to see them anymore because the kids convey the message in such a hateful way, or because the kids told them very black and white that I don't want to hear back from you. They perceive the adult child is conveying the message in such a hateful, blunt, and hurtful way. It's hard for them to accept it. When boundary setting is done right, it actually promotes the relationship. It's a way to help each other to find a balance of we can have connection, we can have intimate moment together as a family. At the same time, we can have our own time to grow. When a child grows up, becomes an adult, some of the parents start to really dependent on a child. They need a child. Setting boundary is a gentle way to push our parents away, just like the first time our parents let go of our hands when we're walking on the street to tell us that, yes, you are ready to go ahead and be yourself. This is exactly a similar process of us as adult child reminding our parents, hey mom, I'm adult. I'm always a child to you, but at the same time, I am a healthy, mature adult capable of figuring out my own problem, and I'll ask for your help when I need it. If we are able to respect each other's personal space and boundary. This is day 7 of 30 days of coming home to yourself. If you liked today's video, make sure you check out the free classes in the description linked below. I would also love to hear from you. What does boundary setting mean to you? How do you set boundary with your parents who don't understand boundary? Now, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.